Hello, everyone, and welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Josh Oakes, and welcome to Smart Social's event. We're live on different networks, parent strategies for struggling teens. You are in the right place if you want to learn 9 life coaching strategies to help your teen combat negative self talk, controlling their emotions, helping them to create meaningful connections, and so much more. I have my dear friend, my co-presenter here today, Andrea Allen. She has been a friend of mine for a decade now. She's not only a parent who's doing some incredible things in her life, but in addition, part of our team here at Smart Social. We're going to tell you a little bit more about her story in a few minutes. Andrea, welcome to today's presentation. It's good to have you here.
Thanks, Josh. It is such a pleasure to be here. I'm so excited. I can't wait to dive in, and thank you for everyone being here tonight. So grateful.
It's so great to have everyone here. So welcome. We have people from the East Coast, middle of the country, West Coast, and we all are agreeing on one thing. We want to keep kids safe on social media so they can someday shine online. And if your kids have a device, maybe they're playing video games, maybe you've discovered that they're scrolling a lot. Maybe they're looking at the news. They're looking online. Maybe they're a little quieter than other times. And you just want to help them be as happy as possible, to be their best self. You want to paint a brighter future for them. You want to make sure that these devices that they have and these people that they're meeting online are not holding them back, but rather helping them live their best life. You've come to the right place, because we at Smart Social for the last 11 years have been helping to protect kiddos just like yours, to help them to do great things in their future. Our dream here at Smart Social, before we get started, is to help your child launch into their future so that when they're 25, they're an employable, amazing person who is moved out from your home, has their own amazing friendships, and is also able to use these tools to launch them into that future with a great career and a wonderful friendships, and that everybody's so proud of them. So without further ado, let's dive into this program that we have for you that's so exciting. Parent Strategies for Struggling Teens. Let's dive right on into it. And welcome everyone. We've got people live on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube. If you're joining us on Instagram, you can comment below, comment everywhere. We will be giving away gift cards. So if you comment and ask a question that we put on the screen, you'll be entered to win a $5 Starbucks gift card. I know it's coffee, but it is exciting if you're like me and you love to wake up to some good coffee. We love participation. Let's dive on into this. You're in the right place. I'm going to start off. If you have a struggling teenager who either lacks confidence, he self-isolates or she self-isolates, or has trouble managing their emotions,
You are in the right place if you want to feel joy again at home. Know that there is hope.
and you're in the right place if you're excited to learn new strategies about how to support and help your child.
And you are in the right place if you are willing to do things differently by implementing new ideas and have new conversations.
Oh, and that number 4 is so key in every industry. When we're talking to educators, when we're talking to parents, when we're talking about kids, about thinking about creative ways to do projects at schools, and in parenting, new ways to connect with your teens, new ways to make yourself feel differently, and so on. Now, you're probably wondering, you probably are already familiar with Smart Social, but I want to give you a quick background. Smart Social has an app, a podcast, a website, and resources that are viewed by 2 million students, parents, and professionals each year, helping them to be safe on social media while still having fun so they can shine online. In the upper right of the screen right now, you see me in front of about 1,000 students, maybe 950. And that's what I used to do pre-COVID. I flew around the country teaching students how to shine online. I've written 6 books on the topic. We have interviews with 350 plus educators on the podcast. We've implemented the findings into 150 plus schools and districts, presentations to 250,000 students before COVID in 29 different states. We've been featured on 29 plus newscasts. And since 2013, about 11 years, we've become the go-to resource to stay updated on the latest trends and apps. Now, Andrea, I want you to walk us through what we call the dirty dozen. After us talking with 1,000 parents, these are the top 12 concerns they have. Can you walk us through these and what they kind of feel like to families?
Absolutely, Josh. So number one is negative self-talk or self-doubt. And I love that this is number one. The parents that I've been talking to, and in my own experience with my own struggling teen, this is a big one. Just that self-doubt and how they speak to themselves. Number two, lacking confidence or that self-esteem. And that goes deep. These teens are in the midst of trying to figure things out. So we're seeing a lot of that lack of confidence, and parents who that could be their number one as well. Number three, that lack of friends, no friends or the wrong friends. We're seeing that a lot in teenage years. Those friends are so important to their identity, and that's really big and important for parents right now. Number four, a smart social, screen addiction, gaming systems on phones, how much that is affecting kids, friends, relationships, and families. So that's just running all over the place here. Number five, unable to control emotions, anger coming out, they're crying. Again, parents are telling us that their kids are not able to moderate and control these emotions that they're having, and are really wanting some advice on how to do that. Number six, depression or anxiety. I think we're seeing more and more of this coming every day. We can lead it back to some of those things, the negative self-talk, the screen addiction, but that is an issue that has a lot of parents so worried. It had me so many sleepless nights worrying about that depression and anxiety. Number seven, poor relationships with the parents. More than anything, what do we want? We want that deep connection with our children. And we're seeing this, this space growing between us, and more parents are addressing and sharing that they want a deeper relationship with their kids. Number eight, kids lacking motivation. Parents feeling the kids are lazy. Again, all kinds of issues. It's summertime right now. I know that we have parents that are scared to death that they're going to be yelling at their kids, come on, get off the screens, and really feeling like their kids are lazy and not motivated. So definitely this is a big one. Number nine, comparing themselves to others and caring what others think. I mean, we know that all teenagers care what others think and are worried about this on some level, but we're seeing this really creating some issues and problems, how they're showing up on social media and really caring what other people are doing on the social media or on their phones. So that's a big one. Number 10, we're seeing that kids are isolating themselves in their rooms. A lot of this is due to device addiction, to that poor relationship with their family and friends and parents. Number 11, feeling overwhelmed. There's a lot of pressure on these kids today, and we're seeing a lot of kids just feeling overwhelmed. Number 12, they might not like school or aren't engaged in class. We have a lot of parents saying, my kids are so smart, but they're not engaged and they're bored or they don't want to show up. And so those are the dirty dozen, Josh.
And thank you so much for going over these. If any of you right now are watching this live and you maybe you resonate with one of them, maybe it's number 7, number 1, number 3, whatever that is. At the end of this, we're going to give you a QR code, a link, and an opportunity to chat with us complimentary. This is what Smart Social does. We want to be there with you. We want to show you our resources. We want to guide you on that way. These devices are like a car. You can't keep your kids from having a phone in the future. They're eventually going to have one, but we do need to give them controlled, careful access to show them how to get from point A to point B so that some of this stuff doesn't happen along the way. That's what we're here to do. So stay tuned. A little bit of a product placement at the end. You'll get the chance to talk with our team and go through some of these. We'll give you the resources. We also, spoiler alert, we have dialogue starters that if you do talk with us, we're going to give you this whole huge sheet of amazing dialogue starters to walk through each one of these to overcome them together. And so if you're like, number 6, depression, anxiety, how do I get my kid to open up? We have a couple things that you can do to ask your kid to try. And so that's what we're here tonight to do. All right. let's dive on into this. Walk us through the top 3 parent concerns for struggling teens. And then, Andrea, I'd like you to tell your story if you don't mind.
Absolutely. So we've talked to a lot of parents, and these are the top 3 that we're seeing over and over that parents are trying to get a hold of and try to understand their kids and find some strategies that they can use in their relationship with their kids. So that first one we talked about, that number 1 position was that negative self-talk. Right there, that lack of confidence. They go really hand in hand. And so we're so excited to share with you some strategies on how you can start to open up a conversation with your own kids about how they speak to themselves. That second one is managing those emotions. And again, we're talking teenagers. Those emotions can really escalate. They're volatile, they're up and down. But how do we help our kids manage those emotions in a way that, for themselves to be able to manage, to become aware of them? So we're really excited to speak to that today. And that last one is the self-isolation and that lack of meaningful connection. Again, as a mom, I want that meaningful connection with my kid. And when they're not able to manage their emotions or when they're on their screens too much, they isolate, they withdraw. And anytime I'm trying to interact, then, there's not the meaningful connection that my heart so desires.
Yeah.
And
Actually, can you
go ahead.
dive into your story? Sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt. I just think it's
no,
so important that people know why you're here and what your story is.
absolutely. So my son is 16 years old, and I think, over a period of time, a lot had to do with the COVID years of isolation and a lot of extra screen time. And slowly, this negative self talk, this lack of confidence, these 3, I would believe, are kind of the big ones that really led him to some feelings of anxiety and some depression. And I was really worried about him. I didn't know where to go. I was reaching out to the schools, I was reaching out to therapists without success. And Josh had reached out and shared about the Teen Life Coaching Program, in which case we enrolled my son a number of months ago. Within 3 months, I saw the light coming back on in my son's eyes. He was coming out of his room. He was putting down his phone. In fact, just after that first conversation, I walked into his room. He was working out. He had, put on his mirror 3 words to describe himself. And those 3 words just, forgot what the passionate, and there was just these 3 words that described himself. And from there, just our whole family dynamic was so much lighter, and it felt so good. And I called Josh and I said, I need to leave my corporate job and I need to come and help more moms sleep better at night. I'm going to come work for you and have more conversations. And so that's my story.
Amazing. And your mission is, can you explain to people what your mission is here at smartsocial.com?
Yeah. I told you, Josh, just very spontaneously, like, my mission is to help 1,000 moms better at night.
Yeah.
The sleepless nights for me were so intense. And if I can do that, that's why I'm here. That's my mission.
What a beautiful mission. We're honored to get the chance to work with you. And that leads us into the next thing. All right, parents, we've got a lot of people. I'm putting this on air right now. Welcome, everyone. Let us know your questions or comments. You'll be entered to win a $5 Starbucks gift card if we show it on air. And guess what? Any question you have is probably terrific. If it's on topic, we want to hear about it. So if you're watching us live from anywhere in the world. All right. I want to walk through the first 3 tips you're going to give us, and then it's going to be rapid fire here. So please walk us through number 1.
All right. Number 1 tip, cognitive restructuring or reframing. We're going to dive in. Number 2 is creative positive affirmations. We're going to teach you how to help your kids make those positive affirmations. Number 3, regular gratitude practice.
Amazing. So walk us through cognitive restructuring and reframing.
Yeah. So this parent strategy involves helping your teen first identify and second challenge their negative thoughts and beliefs. Research suggests that cognitive restructuring can be effective in reducing negative self-talk and improving self-esteem. Our parent suggested action for this is to encourage your teen to recognize, again, that identify, right, when they're engaging in that negative self-talk and challenge those thoughts by asking questions. Now, Josh, you give us that pro tip. What kind of questions can we ask?
Yeah. And I'll be honest, as I traveled the country, every parent would say, Josh, I'm not good at Snapchat. And it really starts with you parents. Henry Ford once said, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you, my friend, are right. And so the negative thought, the pro tip here is, Mom, I'm not good at algebra. And let's consider reframing that to your child or your daughter, your son. Hey, I'm learning algebra. You are going to become the world's best at this, at algebra, and learn your own thing. And by replacing those negative thoughts with more realistic and positive ones, teens can begin to develop a more positive mindset. But guess where it starts? It starts with you, parents. That you see yourself in a vulnerable moment going, oh my goodness, I just said I'm not good at Snapchat. You know what? I'm learning Snapchat. Son, daughter, let's download a Snapchat for me. Can you teach it to me? And when they see you being vulnerable, changing it to an open mind, we all call that growth mindset. Who says you can't do stuff? Then we're moving into that. All right. Walk us through, what does it mean to have positive affirmations?
Thanks, Josh. So positive affirmations involve helping your teen really think differently and improve, these positive affirmations can help improve self-esteem and promote more positive self-image. They really are just those positive thoughts. So we're going to encourage your teen to create a list of affirmations that resonate with them. So give us an example of one of those, Josh.
I'm good at, and it could be really anything, or I learn from hard things. Right now at the company, when we are reaching out to people and we get shot down, we, rather than going, oh no, we say good, because we all watch this one video. When bad things happen, it means we get stronger. So I'm good at this. I'm going to overcome this. I'm going to be I love to say, I'm going to be the world's best at this, whether it's, I'm a little bit dyslexic, but I said, I'm going to be the world's best at writing books. 6 books later, here I am. It's less and less hard, right? And some of you might be thinking, oh, that's so woo-woo. You know what? It helps you to overcome some of these things and get good at it. And if you repeat these positive affirmations regularly, especially when your kid might notice themselves engaging in negative self-talk, or maybe you notice that, over time, it'll help rewire our brain to focus on positive thoughts and beliefs. Here's a pro tip. Encourage your kids to try and ask it as a question. How am I creative? How do I learn from hard things? And as they start to open that up and answer it, it starts to change how they approach some of these things. Okay, Andrea, walk us through gratitude practice and what that means.
Perfect. So gratitude practice. This parent strategy involves helping your teen focus on the positive aspects of their life and cultivate a more optimistic outlook. So research suggests that practicing gratitude can have numerous benefits for mental health, including reducing negative self-talk and enhancing contentment. So our suggestion is to encourage your teen to incorporate a daily gratitude practice into their routine.
Here's something that I do. Keep a gratitude journal. Start writing in your Apple Notes like I do each day to reflect on what you're grateful for before I go to bed. I have this long Apple Notes that I started a couple months ago, and I write 3 things I'm grateful for that day. You know what? Some days aren't that great, but you can always find 3 things. Like, hey, I didn't get this opportunity, but the gratefulness is I have to work harder and I'll probably appreciate it more. There's always something good in there. You end up sleeping better. And you can reflect on what you're grateful for. But remember to provide support, like helping your kid to purchase a journal or prompting, add encouragement along the way, or ask if they want to text every day to their BFF to encourage each other. My niece has something that you all do. She's 9. It's when they come home from school, and she's programmed to know what these are. I love it. What's your high? What's your low? And what's your buffalo or your wild card? So the high, okay, I got to see my BFF. My low was, I got made fun of because of this. Everybody laughed at me opening up a dialogue. And then the buffalo was, I didn't see this coming. This was a random thing, right? High low buffalo, steal that if you want. Or what's your high low, your wild card, or something like that. Kids start to
Josh,
find it interesting.
yeah, we actually did this for about 3 months with my son. And it was talk about that deep connection, right? When we talk about those highs and those lows with each other,
Yeah.
we have more compassion for each other. We start to create this connection with each other. We understand each other better. And it's that great gratitude practice. So I really love that.
There's going to be some people right now, because I've spoken to so many people in my life and gotten so many good questions from parents. Josh, you don't understand. I'm old school, or my husband's old school. He won't do that. Ryan Reynolds was on social media today. It was so amazing. And he said, Josh, he said, didn't say to me, he said, I love talking about my anxiety. My anxiety is a gift because I see my kids going through it and I can teach them, here's how I overcome that. And you don't have to go through the generational thing. Let's undo that for you. And dad can then say, I'm really nervous about this. I'm thinking 17 steps ahead and I don't need to. And it was just so neat to say, yes, there is old school and there's a lot of that in me, but we can also just share with people. And especially parents, if right now, if you're down and out and you're afraid of stuff in the future, your kids don't know that unless you share it with them. Hey, I'm kind of nervous about this, or this. Otherwise, they think you're upset with them. And that was something Ryan Reynolds said on social media today, which I thought was so cool. All
That
right.
is so cool.
Right? Isn't that neat? I thought he's so
Yeah.
neat. So we're going to talk about difficulty managing emotions. Can you walk us through the next three?
Yes. First one is active listening. The next one we'll learn is this technique. It's really cool. It's stop. So we'll go through that. And the next one is mindfulness and meditation. Kind of the same thing, right? Mindful meditation.
Yeah. Okay. The first active listening one. What does that mean?
This parent strategy involves paying better attention to how you are listening to your child. Research has shown that feeling heard and understood can significantly reduce emotional distress. Also, active listening can be a powerful tool for strengthening parent-teen relationships. So we're going to encourage your teenager to express their emotions openly and give them your full attention, validating their feelings and empathizing with their experience. And I think this goes a lot with what you said, right, Josh, is just listening to them and sharing with them and empathizing, like, oh yeah, I felt that too. And just, really listening to them. I love it.
Yeah. Here's your pro tip. Consider paraphrasing. Hey, it sounds like you're feeling really stressed about your upcoming exams. Is that right? And paraphrasing is one way to do it, but there's also another way of reflecting, trying to unlock what your kid's really feeling like, and maybe they can't unlock that, so you can help them. Here's a way to reflect. Hey, it seems like you're feeling frustrated because you didn't get the grade you're hoping for. How does that feel? Am I right on there? What's going on there? And you're really, in a way, helping. Active listening also means you're the guide. Hey, I'm listening. I'm rephrasing what I'm hearing. Does that sound good? I'm your sounding board. And how about I guide you through the next step, through the jungle of these feelings, right? And you can only do that when you're that active listener. All right, we're on to stop. What does stop mean?
So stop is a common emotional management technique used in behavioral therapy to help individuals manage overwhelming emotions or impulse behaviors. So you can teach the stop technique to your teen, and that's what we're encouraging you to do here. It will help to interrupt those automatic patterns of behaviors. So Josh, tell us about how to do that.
Actually, I want you to teach this. I think you're so good at this.
Okay.
And this is actually your tip.
Yep. So the S stands for stop. This is when you pause and physically stop what you're doing. So again, this is what you can practice yourself. I love how you said that, Josh, right? It starts with us as parents. So we can say, hey, teen, this is what I'm doing in the moment. I'm going to stop. T, take a breath. I'm going to inhale and exhale slowly and focus on the sensation of the breath itself. O, I'm going to observe. Just take a moment to observe and describe what you feel. And P, we're going to proceed mindfully. Choose a response that aligns with your values. So I love that, right? Just that mindfulness piece. We've stopped, we took a breath, we're observing what's going on. Whoa, I'm feeling really tense right now. feeling really angry. We're going to mindfully now respond based on whatever our values and goals.
Yeah. And some of the people that are watching right now are saying, my kid is lashing out sometimes. Josh, you don't understand. I hear this nationwide. My kid plays Fortnite and they get very angry and they don't want to eat dinner. They actually just go to the snack drawer and they grab something. They go, Mom, you don't understand how Fortnite works. It's 20 minutes of I can't just turn it off, Mom. You don't understand, right? We've heard it all. And you're not alone if your kid is yelling at you that way, right? I mean, everybody's smiling right now because it's so true. And these are the things where you can go when your child and you have a good moment there and you're working on these things. This is when you can walk them through. Hey, there's this little technique called stop. Mom's going to work on that, dad's going to work on that, and what do you think about you working on that too? Do you want to, we're going to try this. And then all of a sudden you're not even asking your kid. They're like, well, I can do this too. I guess, I don't know. Maybe you put it on the fridge. Maybe you take a screenshot of this, print it out. Nobody ever said, boy, we worked on these ways for us to be more mindful, less angry and stuff, and all of a sudden our relationships got terrible. No, in fact, a little bit of practice here, as nerdy as it may seem, will actually change the way you interact with your kids. A little bit of preparation turns into a whole lot of great ways to become better at being with each other. Now, walk us through number 6, mindful meditation.
So this strategy involves helping teens to develop greater awareness. We've talked a lot about that, right? Increasing that awareness of their emotions and to learn to observe them without judgment. I think that's really important, without judgment. Research suggests that mindfulness meditation can be an effective tool for reducing stress, anxiety, and depression, while also improving emotional regulation. So we're encouraging your teenagers to practice mindfulness meditation regularly, even if it's just for a few minutes each day. And Josh, I'll just have to report really quickly that my son, although he watches me do it and he's just not been into it, this last week, he's told me a few times, Mom, I'm just going to go and meditate for 5 minutes. And I'm just like, it's taken a long time for him to want to do it on his own. And so I'm super excited about that.
Before we get into the pro tip, I love that your son's doing that because I got to be honest. First of all, a couple of us old schoolers in the room right now are saying, I don't want to do that. I don't have time for that. You don't understand how much stress I have. I get it. You're busy. I get it. All this stuff. I was traveling with my best friend overseas and he's got a booming business, a couple kids, the wife back home. And we were on a business trip and he goes, Josh, I'm going to go sit out in that field. I'm just going to go meditate for 20 minutes. And I'm like, what? Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? And meanwhile, I'm doing a tour through a museum. And when he's done with that, he's always happier. And my best friend becomes his best when he does that. He goes, Josh, he told me this last week. And if you're like me and you're old school and you're like, meditation, what? Let me tell you how I'm changing a little and improving. Because I see him becoming his best self. He goes, Josh, I will never give up my meditations. If you want to take everything from me, other than my kids and my wife, I will not give up my morning and my afternoon. I'm better. And so here's a pro tip. When we grew up, we counted sheep to calm down and to go to sleep, right? I was counting sheep right now. Well, there's a technique called body scan. Andrea, you taught me this. Have your child say, I'm aware of my temples. I'm aware of my feet on the ground. I'm relaxing that area or whatever you want to focus on. I'm aware of my jaw muscles. I'm relaxing that area. And when you start focusing on your body and essentially, I don't have pain there. I feel great. I know that when you focus and are present around your body, it changes how your body works and how you think about it. Do you have any more pro tips for us here, Andrea?
Yeah, I mean, I love this body scan, Josh. I use it with my kids, especially with my son when he's having a lot of anxiety. And nighttime's a great time to present this slowly with your kids. And so that's something that I'll do with my son when he's having anxiety at night. And I'll just kind of go through and help him relax. And when he's focusing on the sounds and those bodies, right, he can't think of those other thoughts. He can't think the anxiety thoughts. And I'll share with you my favorite app. And this is also something that I've introduced to my teenager as they get older that they can have on their phones. It's called Insight Timer. It's the app that I use. It's free. We don't have any promotion here, but it's something that my son has on his phone so that and it has all kinds of breath work and meditations, and they're 5 minutes, 2 minutes. Anytime you can say, I need a 5-minute wake up in the morning. I need a 5-minute go to sleep at night. And it's something that he started to use. And I think that's what helped him come to this week right now where he's going to go meditate on his own. So it's been really helpful.
I love that. And these apps really are helpful. And and that's your favorite app down there. Create a daily practice you can do together. Your favorite app, Insight Timer. Haven't tried that. I have one more pro tip. I got this device. Call me, I'm such a gadget guy. I bought this device called the Mendy, a couple $100. You wear it on your forehead and it senses how much oxygen you have going through your frontal lobe. I don't know if this is your frontal lobes. I don't know what it's called, but you take a deep breath, you close your eyes, and either while you're watching TV or doing something, the app on it turns into a game and it tells you, are you relaxed? Are you focused? Do you have maximum oxygen going to your brain? Or are you just freaking out? And it gets you into a game of focusing your brain and stuff like that. Mendi, Mendi. Maybe we'll put a link to it at the end. Kind of an interesting thing. I've been trying it. Okay, let's talk about self-isolation. Walk us through lacks meaningful connections. What are you going to walk us through in a minute?
We're going to learn strategies on how to foster peer networks. Then we're going to talk about decrease screen time. And that last one, we're going to get curious and support interests.
Yeah. So fostering peer support groups, what does that mean to parents?
Yeah, this strategy involves having your teen connect with peers who share similar interests, experiences, or challenges. Research suggests that peer support networks can play a crucial role in providing validation, empathy, understanding, one another, and really kind of connecting on those similar struggles, helping to reduce feelings of isolation and increase meaningful connections, what we really want. So we're going to encourage or have you encourage your teens to join social events, support groups, participate in peer mentoring programs where they can meet new friends.
Oh, so true.
So important.
Pro tip, are there any clubs on campus you might want to join? Or I see that you're really passionate about 3D printing, RCs, planes, or you love fantasy football, or you're really into XYZ. Are there any clubs on campus where real people, other people are fascinated about that? And how do we encourage those things you're really into? Okay, number 8, decreasing screen time and cell phone use.
All right, the strategy involves what? Limiting their screen time and creating boundaries around technology use. And nobody can help you do that better than Smart Social. Josh, you've dedicated your life to helping in this area, especially, during social interactions, family time, dinner time, just being extra aware of that time. Research has shown that excess screen time and reliance on mobile devices can contribute to feelings of isolation and disconnect, of course. We encourage alternative activities that promote face-to-face interactions, connection, outdoor activities, hobbies, spending quality time with friends and family.
So true. This is a great time. Summer's coming. Plan a weekly family fun night, alternating who chooses the activity. Remember, I don't care how busy of an attorney you are, how powerful you are, how much stress you have. Asking your kids, what do you want to do, is the nicest thing you can ever do for your child. You know what? It seems like you like to play Fortnite a lot, Minecraft, Roblox. Can you teach me how to play? Watch your child light up. And Josh, but you don't understand. I do understand. I get it. 250,000 people have been in my life telling me that I don't understand. And then their kid is sitting right next to them and they try a couple of these and they go, you have no idea. I'm terrible at Fortnite, but my child lit up. They're begging for you to be a little bit interested in the stuff that they're interested in. It can be video games. It can be anything where they want to spend their time. Consider making them the expert and really showing them that love. That's their love language, whatever that activity is. I know even just myself, when my parents would do that, I'd go, whoa, somebody's interested, they're present. It means the world. My nephew, I babysat him over the weekend, and he says, Uncle Josh, can we wrestle? And that's him saying, please play with me. And now I say it to him, Uncle Josh wants to wrestle. And his eyes light up, whatever they want to do. Let's focus in on that. And the little 5.5-year-old just goes nuts. I mean, we just have such a good time. I warm up just thinking about it. He's so sweet. All right.
I was going to say, Josh, we used to have a bowl, and we would each put 3 things in it, 3 activities that we'd want to do together. And we would take turns, and we'd set the timer for 30 minutes, and we'd pick from the bowl until it was all gone. And everyone got to take turns doing the activity that they chose. And so we had this activity bowl, and we loved it. It was everything from painting to playing music to, playing video games. So we all got to choose something, and that was really fun.
I think that's great. And you know what we're really talking about here is parents, there's no way that you're going to be able to compete with TikTok. The best algorithm in the world. It's so scary. Whether you're up against TikTok, Netflix, you're up against the Instagram Meta. Sorry, I'm on their networks right now, but there's no way to compete. They're incredible platforms, but the only way to compete is to be wildly interested in your kid, because those people are feeding your kid stuff. But if you're wildly interested in their interests, all of a sudden the screen time and the addiction that they have to that is less important, and that real connection that they don't know that they really need for their true dopamine hit. There's good dopamine, there's bad dopamine. We've all had both. And that good dopamine is going to fill their little heart up, which is so, so important. All right, talk to us about, and I'm having so much fun right now. You can't even, this is so true and so good. And I'm so grateful, Andrea, for you today, because I really think the stuff that we're teaching here is so, so crucial for everybody. Talk to us about getting curious and supporting our kiddos' passions.
Josh, I think you said it all, right? That genuine interest in what your kids care about, right? Whether it's on TikTok, it's Fortnite, it can be on screens, it can be off screens, but the more you sit next to them, right, and actually care about what they're passionate about, you're going to drive that deeper connection. And that says it all. I think you said it perfectly.
Yeah, showing genuine interest in your teens' passions and hobbies, right? And I want everybody parent to think about right now is, what are my kids interested in? Make a little bit of a question to yourself there. So what else can we do?
Yeah. And you have some great questions that you have here for your pro tip, right? Of how you can ask your kids about it and better understand them.
Yeah. So get curious, excited about your teens' interests. So the first question we have here, can you teach me more about blank? I'd love to learn. And so many parents have come up to me, Josh, I'm not tech savvy. Hey, you know who is? They live with you. You pay for all their food, and you put a roof over their head, and you provide everything for them. So why not make them the expert? They kind of work for you, and they'll get interested. So can you teach me more about, now let me tell you what the predators in the world don't want you to know. What are you talking about, Josh? The people who are trying to chat up your kids. And I know nobody's really talking about that as much. I used to be on the news a lot about that 2 or 3 or 4 years ago. A predator does not, they want your kids to think that they care about your kids and get your kids more than you do. So they'll come in and they'll be complimentary and blah, blah, blah. But if you turn your kids into the expert and say, teach me more about this app, this app, this app, or something you're an expert in, all of a sudden, they don't want to talk to the person online who doesn't have their best interest. They go, I saw something inappropriate today online. And my mom's not great at TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, but she was interested in TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, and bless her heart. I know the kids don't say that, but bless her heart. She tried, and she tried to do the selfie thing or whatever, and now I feel more comfortable going to her. There is a lot of secret sauce in this first bullet. If you say, hey, teach me more about this, they're less inclined to go to the bad people online who have we don't have enough time to get into that. You can go to smartsocial.com and I will teach you how we've learned predators work and do things. All of our partners, our psychologists, our therapists, counselors on my podcast have taught me everything. Scary world. This little bullet helps you a lot. And then the next bullet. Do you remember what inspired you to be interested in blank? I'm curious to hear what drew you into it. Oh my goodness, somebody's interested in me? What? I'm kind of a nerd. I've got a cold plunge. Andrea and I both do that. I did that earlier today. When people ask me about cold plunging, I'm like, all right, let's talk about this. It's exciting. Or 3D printing, or motorcycle riding, or anything else that we're all interested in. And for you parents, it might be fantasy football. It might be whatever. Imagine what that is for your kiddos. And last, how can I support you in pursuing your interest? Mind blown. What kid is expecting that from their parents? Parents, please screenshot this, steal it, run with it. If you're one of our district partners who's watching us right now, please, if you're a counselor, take some of these, run with it. Also, teach us how we can improve. If you have suggestions, ideas, we want to know what your dialogue starters are as well. All right, let's dive into this. We've talked to thousands of parents across 29 states. We understand the struggles families face, whether it's sleepless nights, heaviness in the home, a longing for a deeper connection. The program I'm about to show you is designed to provide individual support for parents and teens. And according to a study published in the Journal of Adolescence, teens who received coaching or mentorship reported higher levels of self-esteem and resilience compared to their peers. I'm so pumped to share this. Now, here's just a few of the incredible benefits your teen will experience. Andrea, can you walk us through a few of these?
Sure. That first one, increased motivation and confidence. We unlock your child's vision of their future, inner drive through achievement, strategies, and goal setting. And I'll just say, Josh, this one was so big for my son. I think that all of the compound of the negative self-talk and the isolation and everything together that led him, I think, to that depression piece, right? I think he lost that vision of his future.
Yes.
Of what that could look like for him, and his drive to set goals to achieve, because he didn't know what to achieve. And I think that right there is what I'll be forever grateful for this program and for his coach to really show him and unlock who he was and to help him see that vision again. And then weekly setting those goals and getting a gym membership and writing his goals up there and getting better grades and, coming out and hanging out. He decided he wanted to learn animation, and he hasn't played video games for weeks and weeks. He's off golfing right now. It's, he had to unlock that vision, and that was just huge.
And parents, if you're thinking right now, yeah, but my kid's just in a slump, they'll get over it. I want you to think about it too. We're about to walk you through some ideas. You do not ever need to use these ideas and strategies, but we want you to hold on to them tight because they may become valuable to you or a friend down the block or a family friend. And I want you to think about when your future becomes bigger, your present becomes brighter. And Andrea's son, at the age of 16, we often forget our future, how amazing and big it can be, and then it dwindles our little light right here. A big part of my life has been teaching students how to be light, bright, and polite. A big part of that light, the hidden in the background right here, if you can see that, there's a little light bulb here. And if our future is big, then our presence is bright. Walk us through some of these other ones, please.
Right. Next one, less negative self-talk. We equip teens with tools to overcome negative self-talk, let go of those limiting beliefs, and foster a positive mindset. We talked about a few of those tools. That's just the beginning. These coaches are experts. They connect. They really pull out and allow your child to reveal what some of that, those limiting beliefs are and how to kind of switch them around. They're amazing that way. The next one, effective emotional management. We provide practical strategies for navigating emotions, leading to greater resilience, well-being, and grace. Love that.
And grace with yourself. Like, I'm really
yes.
upset. How about I be easier on myself?
I love that. The improved social skills. So building meaningful connections is essential for teen development. Through our program, teens learn valuable communication, social skills that enhance their relationships.
Mm.
And
Parents, if you're watching right now, take a screenshot of this. If any of this resonates with you or anyone on your block, in your community, at school, um, we want to talk to you about how this is making a big impact in kids. So, can you walk us through? This is your son. What does he say about the program?
oh, Josh, I see his face up there and I still get emotional and just love, when you interviewed him and these things that he said, it was just felt like a miracle. He said, I've worked through so much and have seen so much improvement in my life. And the next quote, and again, this, if you listen, he says these things within the first 30 seconds. After going through such a hard spot in my life, I've gained so much wisdom and so many tools. And I think that's important, right? Those tools that he has. I love that you guys use AI to record all these tools. He has them in his emails. They're there. He can reference them for the rest of his life. And they're so accessible for him because he still has hard days, right? And so he can go to those tools and use them. That last line, by putting in the work, I've seen great results. And we have seen great results in our home. And it's been a beautiful journey. And I'm so excited to be here and to be able to now get to talk to other parents and know that they're not alone and that there is help, that it can be different.
So true. And that leads us to this one. We have so much more to tell you, but we want to round it out. This is a QR code where you can set up a chat with our team. You can talk with Andrea directly, and she'll walk you through strategies, dialogue starters. She gives you this ebook that you get. It's a family plan just for your family. It's really neat. It took us weeks and weeks and weeks to put together. Take action on your teen today. You'll see that on the page. I'm actually going to throw that into the bottom of the screen, and I'm going to show everybody what the page looks like. So we're going to go ahead and dive on into the Teen Life Coaching page. Those of you that are in the chat box right now, I'm going to put that link in there so you can click on that. If you fill that out, a couple amazing things happen. First of all, here's Andrea's story, which is awesome. And then also we've got other dialogues, other testimonials. You can meet some of our coaches. Coach Kevin is just phenomenal. That's your son's coach. He's such a great guy. Shout out to Coach Kevin. What a great person. And then you can also work on, see what we're really trying to combat. And let me tell you, therapy is a wonderful thing. If your child is at a therapist, continue that. It's wonderful. It's not right for everybody, but it's right for most people. With some of the problems with therapy sometimes we found is we're continually focusing on the wrong thing. If you've ever been bicycle riding or skiing, they always say, don't stare at that tree, don't stare at that tree, you're going to run into it. So what we're trying to do, and therapy is great, like, hey, let's talk about the tree. Let's focus on the tree. What did it feel like to hit the tree? And they want you to really unlock that. That's great. But eventually, we believe, and some of the smartest people in the world that have been on our podcast believe, we got to move on from the tree and we got to keep going down the mountain, riding our bike, snow skiing, whatever you want to describe it as. And so what we often do is we say, how did that feel? Great. How are we going to get past that? Let's set some goals. And that's what we're doing with Andrea's son. What describes you? What are your 3 words? Let's go take a Myers-Briggs and learn your personality. Okay, here's your strengths. Here's your weaknesses. Let's laugh at the weaknesses and say, that feels like me, but I think my strengths, if I highlight those. And then let's set some goals. What do you want to do with your future, your career? How are we going to get over those things and continue to have words that get us past it so we don't dwell on that? And these are the things people often dwell on. I'm insecure. I'm always isolated. And if we continue to look at these trees, unfortunately, we will run into these trees more often than not and get injured and be like, all I have is struggles at school. I'm never going to be good at that. I want to use a phrase that some people like, some don't. We want to get your kid unstuck. It may be just a little phase. It may be something they've been in for a little while, and they might need just a nudge, a help, a person in their life. And it might not be you, parents, unlocking your teen's potential. It might not be you, and that's an unfortunate thing. It might be a trusted adult in their life. And that's what we want to do, is schedule a strategy session today. So if you're interested in that, shout out to the 150 school districts that we've partnered with in 29 states over the last few years. Our stuff's been on the news. I'm just so grateful. Countless parents have been a part of this, so we're really grateful, and we hope you'll take action today. Chat with us, fill this out, and so on. We got some really, really exciting things. Andrea, what are your thoughts to parents? And I want to give you final word here.
I just want to tell you, you're not alone. And there are so many parents out there struggling like you, and that there is hope and there is ways to help support your kid. All of these ideas, you have so many resources, Josh, on your site. Go to the site, find some dialogue starters, or up a time that we can talk and I can provide more resources for you, or see if this teen life coaching is the right fit for you.
Now, let's dive in. If you are one of our school district partners, if you are a parent, it's like, what are all these amazing resources? Let me just give you a little background on what we're working on here in the laboratory at
Perfect.
smartsocial.com. First of all, our incredible resources have helped millions of people all over the country. We have our next VIP events. VIP stands for Very Informed Parent. That's what we provide. We provide information and awareness for parents to best navigate that in 14 languages. Look at this. We are now in, you name the language, and you name it. It's Spanish, French, German, Portuguese, Farsi, you name it. Even Tagalog, which is really big in the Philippines. There's no one left behind. And if you roll over resources, you're going to see our 360 plus teen slang emojis and hashtag parents need to know. We did research for months to find out the biggest emojis that students are using. It doesn't mean if they use the word rocket that they're just talking about a drug dealer, but if it's out of context and you're wondering, we might offer a little bit of guidance. There's a lot of stuff going on here. More resources, the 130 plus popular teen app guide. We're going to walk you through our proprietary 4 zones. You see, you only get into these nerdy things when you're on stage and parents are asking the best questions. You're like, you know what? I got to put these into zones so people know where they fit and they know how to be comfortable and confident about where these apps go. So we've got the green zone, the gray zone, the red zone, the dangerous challenges that every educator goes, please educate people on this. And then the 50 plus popular video games that parents need to know about. This summer's coming, and as Andrea said, we're wildly afraid that our kids are going to be on video games 24/7. So we once again have put them into sandbox games, real-time strategy games, all these different little buckets so you can go, whoa, I know what a sandbox is versus a simulation and sports game, a role play game, and so on. We've got it all for you. Parental control software, you name it. Our app is first because product placement. And then second, you're going to start to see parental controls. And here's what you need to know. Never trust a company that says it's perfect. So we give you the pros and cons. That's right. Our army of incredible parents are talking about here's the good parts of this router and here's the bad parts. This app, the Bark app, we love Bark. They've been a great partner of ours. We love it and stuff. Once again, not much to say bad, but we want you to know we only get paid by school districts and parents. We're not paid by big data. We want you to know the good and the bad of everything because nothing is perfect. And we've got a lot of cool stuff. So I'm so pumped. Andrea, thank you so much. Oh, actually, hold on. We're not quite done. Oh my goodness. So there's a search box at the top of Smart Social. If your school district has bought you a complimentary membership, you type in Snapchat, you press enter and watch this. We've got what parents and educators need to know. We've got one mom's story, how cyberbullies targeted her teen. Learn teen Snapchat tips from 4 high school students. I mean, we have content like you wouldn't believe. 450 resources updated regularly. Josh, I want to learn about TikTok. Awesome. TikTok. Forgot how to spell it for a hot sec. There you go. Alternatives to TikTok. Devious licks, which is the TikTok bathroom challenge. NyQuil challenge. These are so dangerous. The negative impact of TikTok. We've got the positives. We've got the negatives. You decide what you want to dive into. We have the member resources. We're not logged in. You can log in. You can join our next live events. And we have some incredible stuff right here. If your school district has not partnered with us yet, please email them. We would love to partner with them and unlock all of this for you for the whole year. We're so excited about doing that. All right, everyone. I want to thank you for joining us here tonight. Andrea, thank you for being such a great co-pilot. I have to tell you, I have a good time every time we do this.
Me too, Josh. I'm so grateful to be here. I love it.
Hey, thanks everybody for your time tonight. And no matter where you are in the country, we're grateful for you. Smart Social's got your back. We're here for you. If you're a parent struggling, please pretend like I have pom poms because I'm rooting for you. We're cheering for you. You're not alone. If your kids dislike you once a month because you took away a screen time device and you did the tough parenting that they needed, you are in the right place because we're rooting for you. You're a good parent if you're doing the things that are better for your kid when they're 25 instead of just making sure they like you right now. And it is not easy out there. It is getting harder than ever. We're grateful for you. If you're one of our school district partners, we love you. We appreciate the support. Hey, I'm going to leave you all with this. Remember, whether you're online or offline, remember to keep it light, bright, and polite because your kids are watching what you do. We'll see all of you on the next episode. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Have a great evening. Bye.
Bye-bye.